Welcome everyone. Today we will be practicing a short dynamic yoga sequence. I'm filming this class after a 22-day journey around Egypt. And full disclosure, it was such a big experience. My heart got blown open in every given direction. And it felt like this very beautiful dismantling. And now that we've landed back in Dahab, all the pieces are slowly starting to fall back together. But regardless, my point of all that is in this moment, I'm very grateful for these practices of presence. In times of transition, in times of change, in times of deep inner growth, the ability to be present and cultivate compassion for yourself. It's what enables you to do so for the world around you. It starts by cultivating all of that within, and this practice is incredibly powerful and potent portal, a direct one through the body to do so. So what does that mean on a smaller level? In my mind, the physical body, it's such a unique tool for self-mastery, self-inquiry, because it holds all of our stories. Our bodies, they're listening. The body is listening to every thought with every cell. And if you can figure out a way to move the body with awareness, to really feel what's here, you can figure out those soft spots, those tender spots, those opportunities to meet yourself where it's really quite raw and tender. You can learn to breathe, to be compassionate with yourself in presence exactly as you are. So it starts with the physical body, but as always, it goes so far beyond that. And one thing I know for sure, it's a heavy time in the world. I'm also filming this not only in a time of deep personal change, it's a time of big collective change. There's a war. So the ability to cultivate compassion for yourself right now, compassion for yourself, whether you're sad, whether you're lonely, whether you're heartbroken, whether you're grieving, whether you're ecstatic, whether you're flowing, whether you're on fire. Compassion for yourself as you are is the very thing that will allow you to live with that perception, to create that reality around you. So with that, let's jump right in. No specific props should be needed. We'll make our way onto our backs. Coming into constructive rest, bending the knees, feet a little bit wider than the hips, and then allowing your knees to fall in towards one another. Bring your right hand to the heart, left hand to the low belly, close the eyes, and physically connect to the way you breathe. See if you can begin to simply observe the breath. So it's through observing the breath that we begin to tap into the feeling body. We can tap into those parts of ourselves that might feel a little bit raw, a little bit tender. We hold ourselves gently there with awareness. Everything is welcome. Let's take a moment and unite the breath. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Twice more, just like that, your timing. Last one. And then gently heel toe your feet back to hip distance apart. Relax your arms by your side. Find an even rhythm of breath in and out the nose. Tilt the tailbone slightly forward towards your heels, pressing the low back into the ground, and get a little bit longer all the way through to the top of the head. Feel connected with your low back to the floor. And with an inhale, begin to press into the soles of the feet. Engage the glutes, engage the muscles of the legs as you begin to lift the hips high. See if you can keep the glutes engaged at the top of the motion. One soft and steady point of focus with the eyes. Take in one more big inhale. Exhale, slowly soften the back body down to the ground. Keep moving just like that for the next few rounds of breath. With your inhales, begin to lift the hips high, keeping the lower body engaged and active. And as you exhale, feeling the articulation of the spine, soften the back body onto the earth. Move in your own time, in your own rhythm. Holding yourself gently as you move, as you breathe. Finish one more round. And slowly release, soften the back body all the way down to the ground. No rush to get there. Eventually we meet, hugging the knees inwards towards your chest, giving yourself a gentle squeeze. And then begin to move around. Stay with the breath as you notice what you feel in the low back. And then open the arms wide, arms out to a T. Squeeze your inner thighs together, your inner shins, your inner ankles, so you feel like your core is engaged. Press your low back down to the ground. Take in a full inhale, arms open wide to a T. And as you exhale, slowly lower the knees down towards the ground. However, they won't touch. Keep the knees hovering. Keep hugging everything in towards your midline. The movement can be really minimal. You want to feel like you're in control, hugging the navel up and in. There's a magnet between the tailbone and the heels. Inhale through center. And as you exhale once again, squeeze the inner thighs, inner legs, as you slowly lower the knees down towards the left any amount. Keep your right shoulder grounded, core stabilized, breath is strong. Inhale through center. Exhale to the right, one breath. Inhale through center. Exhale to the left. Inhale through center. Once more, each side, your pace. Inhale through center. And then gently you can relax your arms, hug the knees inwards towards your chest. Once again, give yourself a gentle squeeze. You can sway a little bit from side to side if that feels good. Eventually, we meet in a tabletop position, shifting your shoulders above the wrists, hips above the knees. Take your time to get there. And once there, use the first few rounds of breath just to explore, to feel what's here, to feel what's present in the body. Let all those little parts of the body speak. And do your best to just really listen. Eventually making your way towards a tabletop position. Shifting your fingertips towards the outer edges of the mat, and then squeeze, or rather, not squeeze, bring the eyes of the elbows in towards one another. So you turn them inwards. Press the ground actively away from you, so you're spreading the shoulder blades wide. And then gently just begin to sway a little bit from side to side. Just a few moments to warm up the wrists. Eventually, flip your fingertips forward. Spread the fingers wide. Inhale, lower the belly down towards the ground. Spread through the sit bones, spread through the collarbones. Lift your gaze. Squeeze the shoulder blades tight. Tilt the tailbone high. Take in one more full inhale. Exhale, navel towards the spine. Tilt the tail in the opposite direction. Press the ground actively away from you. Chin to chest. Round the back body, creating a dome with the upper back. All right, moving with the breath 3 times. Inhale, lower the belly down towards the ground. Spread through the sit bones, spread through the collarbones. Lift your gaze. Exhale, round the back body. 2 more cycles of breath, your pace. Next inhale, bring the spine back to neutral. Walk your palms 1 hand distance forward, curl your toes behind you. Glide the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And for now, just explore the shape. There's no right or wrong. So how would you really move if you could embody curiosity? Acting like you've never been in the shape before. Just asking the body what's here, what needs to be heard. Eventually finding stillness, spreading your 10 fingers wide, pressing the ground actively away from you, navel up and in. We're gonna pulse with the breath, moving through a few simple movements. As you inhale, keep your upper body strong and active, pressing the ground away from you. Begin to lift your heels off of the ground. So tailbone still lifts high, you're high up onto the balls of the feet, as high up as you can be. And then as you exhale, you'll keep pressing into the palms, bend the knees, extend the hips back as you sink the heels back towards the back of the mat. So you're in a pounce-like position. Inhale, ripple forward out like a spring to a plank pose. Press the ground actively away from you, tailbone towards the heels, navel up and in. Big inhale here. Exhale back to downward facing dog. You can bend the knees and shift the hips back as you go. All right, so we're gonna move through those simple movements a few times, breath to movement. Clear the breath first. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, bend the knees, pounce. Inhale like a spring, plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Twice more. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, down dog. Twice more. Inhale, heels rise. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, ripple forward. Exhale, down dog. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Stillness. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Slowly walk your feet forward to the top of the space, a gentle forward fold, allowing the upper body to be really heavy. And then you can grab for opposite elbows, or you could interlace the fingers to the nape of the neck. Wherever you are, keep it really gentle, keep it passive. Let it be about creating some space, length in the low back. So you bend your legs to eliminate a rounding in the spine. Let the head be heavy. A few cycles of breath. And then keeping that soft bend in the legs, slowly, vertebra by vertebra, begin to lift the torso, Rise all the way up to a standing position. You can take your time once the head rises all the way up. Feel free to roll through the shoulders. You can sway, you can wiggle. Eventually, we'll land with our feet a little bit wider than the hips, arms open wide. And we gently just begin to rotate from side to side, keeping the feet grounded, rotating the upper body, letting the arms be heavy, and just feeling a twisting sensation in the spine. See if you can stay with the breath, not necessarily moving breath the movement, but staying connected with awareness. For your last few rounds of breath, if it feels right, you can turn onto the ball of the opposite foot as you rotate over the opposite shoulder, finding a twist a little bit more in the upper spine, a little bit deeper in the upper spine, I should say. And then slowly, without abruptly stopping the motion, letting momentum really continue to tell its story. Just observe as the body slowly makes your way back to stillness. Feel it's still in motion. And when ready, feel your feet, hug the navel up and in, get a little taller through the crown of the head. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up, palms to touch. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold forward. Inhale, lift the chest, halfway lift. Hands to the floor, step the feet back to plank. Full inhale here. Exhale, lower down, your option. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to downward facing dog. Find your breath. Allowing whatever is here to flow through us. Next inhalation, reach the right leg high, three-legged dog. And then for now, just explore. You can open up the hips, stacking your right hip on top of the left. You could circle the ankle, you could circle the knee, move in any way it feels good to. Eventually finding stillness, wrapping your outer right thigh downwards towards the ground, hugging the navel up and in. Big inhale into the side bodies. Exhale, step the right foot to the inside of the right thumb, low lunge. And then gently soften the left knee down to the ground. And before we do anything else, let's refine this shape. Anchor the right hip back, left hip crease steers forward. Engage your left glute as you lift the torso, rising all the way up so the shoulders stack above the hips. Right knee is right above the right ankle. Left leg is strong and active so we feel strong sensation in the front of the left hip. Reach the arms high. Full inhale. Exhale, slowly straighten the right leg any amount. Soften your fingertips down to the ground or to blocks. As opposed to trying to bring your forehead towards your toes, think about lengthening your belly button forward. Extending through the ball of the right foot, curl the toes back in towards you. We're going to flow between those two shapes 3 times. Inhale to Crescent Lunge. Left glute engage, reach the arms high. Exhale, straighten the right leg, lengthen with the belly button. Twice more, just like that. Next inhale, low Crescent Lunge, sink into the hips, keep the left glute engaged, reach the arms high. Curl your left toes behind you. Big inhale here. Exhale, hands down to the ground. Extend through the left knee and reach the right arm high, finding a vertical twist. Right knee right above the right ankle. With every inhale you take, extend the left heel back, hug the navel up and in. And as you exhale, rotating your left ribs underneath the right, opening up the right side body towards the ceiling. Feel free to roll through your right wrist. Press through that left shoulder, so press the ground actively away from you. Any last intuitive movements are welcome. You could stay right here or turn onto the knife edge of the right foot, or left foot rather. Press the left hand actively into the ground, and then make your way to a side plank, stepping the right foot back to stagger with the right, to stack. You could soften the left knee down to the ground. You could also extend the right leg high. Make it your own. We meet in half pigeon pose. So you're welcome to get there in any way that feels good to you, either through three-legged dog or just gently making your way there. You could also transition through low lunge. You could also not use the right hand at all as you try to only use the left hand and the left foot to step the right foot to half pigeon pose. Choose your own adventure. Eventually landing with the right shin far enough forward so that you feel sensation in your outer right hip. No particular alignment other than that. Take in a big inhale. And as you exhale once again, leading with the belly button, soften forward any amount. Last few rounds of breath. See if you can find this sense of acceptance at the base of every exhale you take. Slowly lift the torso, rise all the way up with control. And then curl your left toes behind you. Engage your left leg. From the strength of the low belly, lift the right leg high up and back, three-legged dog. And then you can open up the hips, stack the right hip on top of the left. You could rotate the ankle, rotate the knee. And if Wild Thing is within your practice, you're welcome to create that as well. Any variation. We meet in downward facing dog when you're ready. Inhale through the nose. Exhale it out the mouth. Inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Explore in your own way. Choose your own adventure, your own experience. Eventually squaring your hips, wrapping your outer left thigh downwards towards the ground. Press the ground actively away from you. Big inhale into the side bodies. Lift the left heel high. Exhale, step the left foot forward to the inside of the left thumb, low lunge. Soften the right knee down to the ground. Imagine there was a magnet between each of your inner thighs. They're squeezing towards one another, right glute engages. Almost like you're trying to scoop your right knee forward to the top of the mat as you lift the torso, rise all the way up to a lunge. Keeping your right glute engaged, sinking into the hips, softening within whatever feels tender. Reaching the arms high. Big inhale into the side bodies, into the fingertips. Exhale, slowly begin to straighten the left leg, any amount, half splits. You can soften your fingertips down to the ground, to blocks, anywhere that allows you to lengthen the belly button forward towards the front of your mat. Flowing with the breath. Inhale, low crescent lunge. Exhale, half splits. Twice more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time. We meet in low crescent lunge, arms high. Curl your right toes behind you, sink into the hips. One last full inhale. Exhale towards a vertical twist. We soften our hands down to the ground, engage the right leg. Right hand is your foundation. Left knee stays right above the left ankle. As you reach the left arm high, finding an easy twist. With every inhale you take, extend the right heel back, hug the navel up and in, get longer. And as you exhale, with that length, you rotate into the twist. You can stay here or turn onto the knife edge of the right foot, press the right hand into the ground, and then you can find your variation of a side plank. Any variation you choose. Adventure can look really different day to day. And gently, we'll make our way to half pigeon pose. You can use your left hand or not. Eventually finding that same scissoring of the inner thighs that we just found in low crescent lunge. Then take in a big inhale. And as you exhale, we find a sense of surrender. And that cycle happens again and again and again. Last few breaths, stay with it. Rise all the way up, back up onto the hands. Engage your right leg with the strength of the low belly. Lift the left leg high up and back towards three-legged dog. You can choose to open up the hips. You can choose to come into wild thing. Only when ready, your last downward facing dog. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, big sigh, let it out the mouth. Next inhalation, walk, step, or hop your feet all the way to a seat. And then make your way onto your back, a mini Shavasana. Opening the legs wide, opening the arms wide, taking up space. Observing what has shifted. Gently hug the knees inwards towards your chest. Give yourself a gentle squeeze. And then sway a little bit from side to side. Gently opening the knees wide towards the shoulders. Knees wide, big toes to touch. You can choose to stay right here or come into happy baby, extending your feet upwards towards the ceiling. And then you can hold your feet from the ankles, from the shins, or from the feet. The goal is to ground through the low back and to drive your upper thighs towards the ground. And then to play like a baby would play, to sway a little bit from side to side, to ground through the low back. Gently hug the knees inwards towards your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then make your way to your final Shavasana. Extending the right foot to the right corner of the mat, left foot to left corner of the mat. Arms open wide by the sides, palms face up. There's no longer a need to control the breath or focus on any particular thing. It's here that you receive the benefits of your practice. A few minutes to simply integrate. It's in this integration where all the different layers of our constitution, our body, our experience, they get to speak. And we get to merely compassionately hold space for ourselves. You may choose to stay longer, or we slowly begin to deepen the breath together. And as you do, you land back in the body, back in this moment. Notice what it feels like. Noticing what you hear, what you smell, the ground below you, the breath as it moves in and out the nose. And then begin to invite some small, curious movements back into the shape. You can circle the wrists, you can circle the ankles, maybe reaching the arms all the way overhead, feeling a full body stretch if it serves you. Taking the path most kind, most gentle, you'll slowly rise all the way up to a comfortable seat. No rush at all to get there. Eventually landing with the sit bones grounding, allowing the spine to lengthen. Shoulders stack above the hips, arms gently relax to the body, and close the eyes. The more compassion, the more love that we're able to hold for ourselves as we are in all the ebbs and the flows, it's more likely that we're able to find it within others, to see it within others, to attract it within others, to embody it for others. We bow. Thank you for practicing.